Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. Again, thank you so very much for joining this morning. We are going to be doing episode number 8 this morning. Today, we have a really interesting topic we're going to be discussing. Today, we're going to be talking about the social red and green flags in dating. So, have a lot of good information that we're going to be sharing. It's going to be an interesting conversation, and I want you to invite some other people on with you this morning. Good morning, Miss Vivian Granberry. Thank you so very much for joining us. As you come in, make sure you let me know where you're joining from or say good morning so that we can acknowledge you on the screen this morning. First couple of minutes, we're just going to say hi and welcome and want to know where you're from, who you are, so that we can acknowledge you. So as you come in the room, make sure you say good morning. All right. It's happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining. Hi, Miss Sherry Oliver. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Make sure you hit the share button. Make sure you invite somebody on. Maybe you got some single girlfriends or somebody who needs to hear a little bit about dating. They're having a few struggles. Maybe they're new to the dating world and they don't really know what to do with dating. So I want to acknowledge, ask a friend to join you, okay, this morning. Have some tea, have some coffee. It's early Saturday morning, but we're going to get into this today. It's going to be a very interesting topic this morning. Good morning, Sabrina Green. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, everybody. Hi, whoever this is from South Carolina. What you want to do is where you join the post, at the top of the post, there should be a little link that says give StreamYard permission to see my comments. If you would, we want to know who you are. So if you would, go to the top of the post and see if you see that and allow StreamYard to see who you are so that we can see your name and we can see where you are commenting from. So good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, ladies and gents, because we do have gentlemen behind the scenes sometimes who are watching. So good morning, everyone. It's Saturday. We'll give everyone a few more minutes before we dive into our content for this morning. I do want to remind you, if you're not currently a subscriber, that I am building up my YouTube channel. There is a lot of information that I'm putting over there for safekeepings and for people to be easily able to go back and review. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go find Queen Cassandra Haynes. You'll see a picture of me. I have on a blue and white stripe dress. Make sure you follow and subscribe. So as we post content, it may get lost and filtered out here on Facebook, but you'll always be able to find it there on YouTube. So again, go find Queen Cassandra Haynes on the YouTube channel. Also, a couple of things. We do come on Thursday nights, and now we've added Tuesday nights. Queen Bling is live on Facebook here. Get a word of inspiration as well as do a little shopping. We also have a Queen Bling and a Queen Cassandra Haynes Instagram. So we want to make sure that you all are fully aware of all the ways that you can get in touch with us, okay? We also have a retreat that we're planning for the month of October. We'll be going to Columbia, South Carolina from October 20th to the 22nd. And having a retreat. It is a co-ed retreat, so there are men and women will be there. So it's going to be something that's awesome. It's going to be a great time. So more to come on the retreat. We'll have information coming out very shortly concerning the retreat as well. So lots and lots of great things happening over here at Queen Bling. And the Queen Bee Connection. We have so many things going on. So God is really good to us during this season. All right. So let's get into the content for today. So we are reviewing currently, if this is your first time joining us, we are reviewing the book Watch the Flags by Dr. Conway Edwards. And it looks like this. Okay, it's called Watch the Flags. You can get the book on Amazon. You can also get it at his church website. You're just going to Google Watch the Flags. You'll see the book come up. It may take you to one community church. They have a bookstore. You can order it from there if it's sold out on Amazon. The book has been selling out pretty good. So if you don't find it on Amazon, make sure that you go to the church website. It's called One Community Church. It'll probably redirect you there. But his name is Dr. Conway Edwards, and we give him credit for all of this content. We're just reviewing the book and talking about some of the principles in the book to help us have a interactive discussion and better understand how to go about this dating game. Okay. So if you've missed any of the prior episodes, again, you can find them on the Queen Cassandra Haynes YouTube channel. You can always go back and watch them and catch up. Okay. So today we are on episode number 8. And today's topic, we are talking about the social red flags and green flags of dating. All right. So the social red flags and green flags of dating are really about your external relationships that you have with other people besides the significant other that you want to date. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about your social relationships and your friendships outside of the person you've chosen to be your potential other. Okay. So the book says that the social relationships you have individually and as a couple are an indicator of your level of maturity and compatibility that you share. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that the friendships and the relationships that I have with people outside of just the relationship with the other person that I've chosen is important. It means that if you look at my friends, you should be able to see my level of maturity. And we're going to get into this whole friend thing, okay? If you look at the people that I socialize with, I hang out with, I call true friends, not associates or people that I know, true people that are my friends. It should be an indicator of my level of maturity, number one. And it should let me know that whether or not we're compatible in the social area. Okay. Because again, remember, we've talked about dating requires maturity, dating requires knowledge, dating requires gathering data. So as we are entering into the dating zone, we should be able to understand that maturity is absolutely a must. So if I haven't grown up, I haven't addressed my childhood trauma and all those things, you're not even ready to really date on a serious level. Okay. But given those things, the next section we're going to talk about today has to do with the social flags and how we deal with friendships, family members, relationships when it comes to I'm getting to know someone new and I need my circle's opinion. So that's what we're going to talk about today, are the social flags involved in a relationship and dating, and how do we navigate those waters when it comes to getting to know who someone is and getting the opinions of those around us as far as things that we may or may not see. So the next section talks about the red flag. The first one we're going to kind of dive into today is when others don't celebrate the relationship. So you meet somebody new, you're interested in them, you guys have been talking for a while, maybe you've even gone out on some dates and it's serious enough that you're like, okay, I'm ready for them to meet my circle. So you're ready for them to meet your circle and it's time. So you find a neutral spot. I always think it's best to introduce people in a neutral spot. Find a nice environment. Don't necessarily always take them to the person's house, Find a nice neutral place to meet people for the first time. So if you want to meet your mother, you may or may not want to take them to your mama's house. Because if it ends up not working out, now they know where your mama live. Okay. So you may not want to take them to your mama's house. You might want to meet them in a neutral spot. That's totally up to you, y'all. That's just what it is. That's a freebie. Okay. So if you want to meet your friends, you want to find a spot to meet them in. Maybe you're comfortable with them going to your friend's house. You might have known them long enough that you're comfortable with that. So if that's the case, perfectly fine. All right. So it's time to meet. You introduce them. And the next thing you know is that after the introduction, your friends and family are not celebratory. They're not happy about it. They're not saying, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. I'm so glad that you are here. You've already started making a difference in my friend's life, and this goes for men and women. Men, if you introduce a woman to your friend circle or your best friend and the man is not happy, he is looking crazy, that is a sign. Okay. So the book is saying the very first red flag when it comes to social relationships is and you're trying to get someone new. Remember, we're talking about dating, gathering information. So when you introduce them to your friends, your close people in your life, and there's no celebration, red flag. Okay. This says that your friends may be able to see that you have on blinders, but you don't see it. Being enamored, being in love, feeling all the endorphins of finally finding somebody that you're interested in, that you've made a connection with, those things can cause you to have blinders on early in the game. Okay. Today, thank you for joining everybody that's hopping on. We're talking about social red flags when dating. So we're talking about the social aspect of introducing someone to your friends and family is the topic of discussion today. So the first red flag is that you introduce that person and your friend is sitting there like, I don't know about this. Or you introduce them to a parent, a mother, a brother, a cousin, someone that, you feel like, okay, I could start with this person. And there's no celebration. There's no excitement. They are looking like, I don't know what in the world is going on here. So that is a red flag to attention. There's something not quite right. All right. And you may never know, that person may have already started their own research. If they're a close friend, they may have already looked at their Facebook, Instagram. They have looked at their friend connections. Social media has really put it out there for a lot of us. So if I'm introducing you, then most likely my friends or family have already checked you out on social media. Let's keep that in mind too. So maybe they've seen some things that I haven't seen, and I'm just looking at, oh my God, this is such a great guy. This is such a great woman. I'm just so excited that they're in my life, and there is no celebration when I introduce you to my friends and family. Then that is a true red flag for me. It's a red flag for me to pay attention. It's a red flag for the potential to know that, hey, I might need to fix this because their family already sees that there's something there. So again, if there's no celebration, no excitement, if maybe during the conversation things get weird and feel awkward, those are all signs and signals that there's an area of concern here. Maybe I need to relook at this person and kind of what's going on with this. When getting to know someone new, we have a tendency to only want to see the good qualities. Avoid explaining away the trouble signs. Okay, so say you've had the dinner, you've done the introduction, and that person has gone back, and I'm sitting here now just with my friend. And I said, what do you think, girl? Or are you sitting here with your guy friend? He's like, guy, I really like her a lot. What you think about it, man? And there is still no celebration. And they say to you, I really just don't know. You might want to take a little bit more time before you move to the next step. They may have some reason for pause. Okay. So when getting to know someone new, we might just want to see the good side. Okay. Because again, we've been waiting, we've prayed on it. We are now in we are now in the season of, making sure that we are getting this dating thing right. And then we see that there's something that my friend sees that I didn't see. So we should be open to their feedback. Because you got them in front of them. You brought them to meet them for a reason. And if there is something that is not quite right, your friend is going to see it. Okay. And we're going to talk about the whole friend thing too, because we know sometimes that, people we call friends may not be real friends. Okay. But when you're getting to know someone new, avoid explaining away the trouble signs. So if the friend sees something and says, girl, I just don't know, then maybe you should have a conversation around it. Remember though, that your real friends know you and they care about you. So let's talk about your real friends. Let's get into this for a minute. You should be a person at this point in your life when you're seriously dating. You should have someone around you that is a real friend. Okay. This is someone that you have no reason to feel any type of way about. They love you. They want to be in your life. They have been tried and true. This person I can trust. I could hand you my debit card and let you go in the store because I know you're not going to rob me. That kind of person. That's the person you want to start off the introductions with, because they're going to be brutally honest with you, and they should be. They're going to be the ones who say, Cassandra, I like him for you. He's actually pretty good. Or she's going to say, I don't know, sis, you might want to rethink about this for a minute. He says such and such, and it really hit my spirit. It really caused me to feel some type of way. I really don't know. If you should have that one or two people that are your initial friends that you introduce that person to, that truly know you, and they care about you. Don't pick the person that you really a little suspicious of, that maybe you can't trust them, maybe they're a little jealous, maybe they haven't even been happy about the fact that you were looking and wanted to date somebody. Don't use that person as your introduction. Okay, you put them in the mix with the bigger gathering later. But this first introduction to a friend or family member should be somebody that you truly knows you, and that truly care about you and want the best for you. The next principle of the book talks about if your new potential is skittish or always avoids meeting your friends, it's a glaring red flag. Red flag, warning, warning. Every time you want to bring them in front of somebody, every time you say, hey, we're having such and such, or do you want to go to church with me? Or, hey, I have an event at work. Can you be my plus one? And every time they are skittish about being around your friends or family, they don't necessarily want to do the introduction. That means a couple of things. Either they're not as serious about it as you are, and they don't necessarily want to go to the next step of meeting friends or family, or there's something wrong and they're hiding something that they're afraid other people may already know. Okay, so if your new potential is skittish or always avoids meeting your friends or family, this is a glaring red flag. You must make sure that your friend circle is one that you trust, like we mentioned, and has your best interest in mind. So again, if these are people that are in your life and you trust them, then it should not be difficult for you to introduce your potential to them. They should be the people who can be your gauge. All right. So after you've made it through the initial phase of getting to know them enough that you feel like, okay, maybe this is a person that I want to proceed with, then your friends and your family should be the next persons that get introduced. And if the person is afraid, always avoiding it, making excuses every time it's time, then that is a red flag that you need to pay attention to. If your friend circle is out of control and living life all over the place themselves, they will most likely miss the signals and the flags. Okay. So if you are in a friend circle and everybody is a mess, then guess what? They're not going to be your best gauge. Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, don't pick those friends who have life in the mix. All right. They are all over the place. They are dating 15 people. They're not serious with anybody. There's no one married in your circle. Come on. So you are really playing for keeps. Remember, we're doing this in a mature way. We're playing for keeps. So if your friend circle is out of control and living life all over the place themselves, those are not the ones you want to introduce to help you look for red flags. Okay. You just that. You already know your friends. Somehow people think that their friends have good advice, except when they do not celebrate a romantic relationship. Come on, y'all. So what is this about? Like, come on. In all transparency, I've been there and done that. I have been with someone, introduced them to my family and my friends, and it went terribly wrong. Okay. It did. It went terribly wrong. And what I did was I made excuses for the person. I said, they just don't know him the way I do. He's so different when he's one-on-one. And so I just think that they probably just feel like nobody's ever going to be good enough for me. So I really did not put a whole lot of value on their assessment of who they saw this person being. Okay. They are the ones, they're watching it. They saw me be different around them, kind of shrink back and not necessarily be the person that I am. And so they watched it. They saw it happen and they gave me their true opinion. But what did I do? I thought they had good advice, except in that situation. So what happened was I didn't place very much merit on their opinion. And guess what? It went just like my introduction went wrong with my family and friends. The relationship went terribly wrong later. Okay. So advice, if you introduce them to your friends and family and it goes wrong and they give you advice that says, this may not be the best person. I love you. I want the best for you, but there is something about them that's just not sitting right. Not to say that you're always going to be governed by other people's opinion, but the whole goal of this relationship thing is to have a happy life all the way around holistically. So when you think about the social aspect of your relationship, you want to be happy with this person, with your friends and family, as well as just one-on-one with them, because you are not an island. No man is created to be by himself. So you've got to have a hope. If you want to have a happy life, you want this person to be involved with your family. You want them to be invited to the cookouts and the family gatherings and the baby shower and the wedding parties. You want them to be a part of your life from all aspects, and you want it so you don't have that stress on you. It is stressful to be in a relationship with someone and your friends don't like them, your family don't like them. They come around and it's stressful and awkward, So when you're dating, if your family is part of your life and it's important for you to have those productive relationships, don't ignore it when they give you their opinion. Now, there are some families that nobody is ever going to be good enough, and you already know that from the start. But we are talking about true family who love you and have that real gauge of who you are. They understand you, and they're going to give you good advice when it comes to relationships. Now, it's up to you, though, to determine how much weight you put on it. If you allow that to be a gauge for you to be able to move forward with the person, maybe most of all, it should be a prayer point for you. And I know that I'm not teaching this strictly from a biblical standpoint, but if you introduce someone to your friends and family and it does not go well, that is a prayer point for you. You need to take some time and say, God, I thought I saw great things in this person, but my friends and the people closest to me don't see it. They have some caution. Show me clearly what I need to do with this. Is there something I'm missing? Was I so in love and enamored and so impressed by this person that I didn't see some things? Help me understand where I'm coming from, so that where they're coming from, so I can make sure that this is a good choice for me. So sometimes we have a tendency as humans to think, oh, people give great advice about everything. We'll trust them to send us somewhere to get our car fixed, to buy new clothes. We'll trust for somebody to be a financial advisor. But then when it comes to relationships, we feel like people don't know what they're talking about. But truly, honestly, since we're doing this a different way, we should really put some credit on those true friends and family members in their opinion about the person when we decide to introduce them. If they're your real friends, avoid thinking that they're jealous or hating on you. We quick to say, oh, our other friends are single. They still haven't found anybody. Maybe they're just jealous. Maybe they're just hating on me. Really try to listen to what they're telling you, because again, these are people that we trust, and we've decided that we're going to put some value on their opinion. People who do not listen find themselves in isolation out of desperation. They want the relationship so bad that they go into isolation, which means my friends don't like them. So you know what? I'm going to draw back from my friends. I'm just going to do this my way. This is my life. They can't tell me who I need to be with. You get into all that mind frame, and you end up in isolation dealing with this person one-on-one alone. Isolation will not keep you from danger, though. So even though the person, you may made your own decision to say, my friends or family don't really care for the person, but I love them and I'm going to choose to be with them. You're an adult. That's your choice. But just know that if you go into that isolation mode in that relationship, it's not going to prevent you from still being hurt. The things that they saw, if they were true, then they're still there. So regardless of you, if you have your family or not with you, isolation will not keep you from danger. You will have to deal and face things alone instead of having support, though, is what's going to happen, which makes things a whole lot harder. I'm going to tell you, in a previous relationship I had, I chose to be with them anyway. And I faced a whole lot of hard, stressful time in my life alone, because I had already said, I'm not going to put any merit on what my friends or family think about this person. And was it hurtful? Yes. Was it painful? Yes. The things that they saw, was it true? Yes, it was all true. But I went into isolation thinking that, hey, I can love this person enough. We can make it just the two of us. We're Bunny and Clyde. Well, guess what? When that thing went down, and it went down terribly, I was by myself, and I had to face that situation, deal with the repercussions, all of those things. Just like I made the decision to be with them against what other people said, I had to deal with the consequences by myself against what other people said. So, word of advice to you is that going into isolation, if someone doesn't like the person that you're dating, then take some time, talk with them, help them, ask them to explain to you what they're feeling and why they feel that way. Be an adult, have some conversation. Don't be reactionary in your emotions and in your feelings about it and not get a clear understanding, because there may be some things that you just simply don't know. And then what happens is you end up in isolation dealing with this situation by yourself and going through all the pain and the hurt. I don't regret it because it made my relationship with God so tight, because I did a lot of praying, fasting, and talking to Jesus to make it through. But I could have avoided a lot of that, or either went through it with support had I not gone into isolation. So the gist behind this is that you will face things alone instead of with support when you deal with a person that your friends and family do not necessarily support. I remember one time when I introduced someone to my dear grandmother, God rest her soul, who has departed. I remember I introduced her to somebody, and the first conversation just went terribly wrong. And she ended up having a disagreement with the person. My grandmother was one, she was not one to mix words. Like, you knew how she felt. And I remember hearing her say to the person, sometimes it's not the man, sometimes it's not the land, it's the man. And the person got so upset. But what she was really saying to this person is, you have a problem with everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, either people don't like you, people are always coming against you, all this kind of stuff. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you live in Georgia, Alaska, Thailand. At the end of the day, sometimes it's not the land, it's the man. That there are some things that are in you that it doesn't matter where you go or what you do, it's going to go wrong because there's something inside of you that you haven't dealt with. And she was able to say that and mean it wholeheartedly to that person in the first conversation she had with him. And back then, I didn't know all the things I know now. Had I known that, because my grandmother, I know she was my biggest cheerleader and she really wanted the best for me. Had I known and listened to what she was saying in that would have been a significant red flag for me to know it doesn't matter. I could leave Georgia and go to a different state and be with this person, and it's still going to be the same drama. And had I known that and realized that's what was being said, I would have handled the situation a whole lot differently. So again, you got to make sure that you don't go into isolation. I went into isolation. I attempted to deal with the problem on my own. I had to end up going through counseling. I was afraid for my life at one point. There was so many things. And when I released my book and my testimony, I thank God I don't look like what I've been through. But at the end of the day, I could have avoided a lot of things in my relationships in the past had I listened to the advice and the wise words of people that I know really meant me good and really wanted the best for me. It wasn't that they thought somebody wasn't good enough for me. They really saw the red flags that I didn't want to see. So again, sometimes it's not the land, it's really the man. So speaking up can be hard for your friends and family. It can be hard because you love that person. You see them being happy. You don't want to disappoint them. So you may not want to just say, oh, no, sweetie, that's not the right person. You may not want to say it. I want you to understand that speaking up for your friends and family is hard to do sometimes. So you got to watch their actions. When the potential is around, look at their facial expressions, watch their body language, pay attention, sit back, allow them to talk. If you bring somebody to the table with a friend or family member, take a seat back, go to the bathroom, go to the store, give them some one-on-one time alone so they can help you gather information. Because remember, at the end of the day, dating is like an interview. You are looking for the right fit. So if you are interviewing, if you are dating, gathering information, The goal of this is to have the right person and to play for keeps and end up with someone that you can have productive life with your friends and family. Then guess what? You got to give them some time to talk. So excuse yourself. Don't be so eager to want to hear every little thing that you don't give them time to talk one-on-one. I may go to the bathroom. I may say, you know what? Let me run up to the store real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. To give them time to talk. And so that way, when you come back to the table later, you can say, okay, how did it go? Did you ask some questions? Did everything go all right? Like, what was the conversation like? Were they hesitant? You can get more information if you trust those people that are in your life. So again, speaking up is hard. It's hard to tell somebody that's in love, I don't think that's the right person for you. Or not even that, just to say, they were talking and they said this comment. It really made me think about some things. So you might want to ask some more questions about that. So just to get some information, because at the end of the day, this is your life, your response. You are putting your life into this person's hands eventually if you want to date them. So you got to take time to really let people around you get to know them as well and see what's going on. There's this thing that God revealed to me a while back that says it's better to be disappointed now than have to be delivered later. And what does this mean? This means it's better for you to find out things early in the game than to get into a situation that God has got to come rescue you out of later. Okay. So it's better to find out things now. It's already hard enough for your friends and family to tell you that that's not the right person. But I want to encourage you that if you find out some things that are red flags and deal breakers early in the game, accept it. I know it hurts. I know you want to be with that person, but to go into isolation and go against what everybody says and go against what everybody that loves you says and deal with that person on your own, it is tough. It's not to say that it can't be successful, but it's a much harder road. So if you see some things, it's better to be disappointed about it now. Talk through it, see if it's workable. But if it's not, don't get into a situation that you have to be rescued out of later just simply because you didn't listen and pay attention. The next red flag is that they have more opposite sex friends than same sex friends. So I know this is controversial, y'all, and I'm open to your comments about this. I definitely want to hear what you all have to say. The next red flag he's saying is that if a person has all friends that are of the opposite sex. So if I'm a woman and all of my friends, close friends, best friends are men, or if I'm a man and all of my close friends are women, that is not healthy. And that is an indicator that something inside of them is wrong. So this book is saying that if you have more opposite sex friends than same sex friends, there is something internally that's out of calibration. It's out of order. There should not be a situation where if all the person has is opposite sex friends. So if you find a woman and all her friends are all men, that means that she has a problem maintaining relationships with people of the same sex. And why is that important? Because there will be times in this relationship that will happen where she will need godly advice. She will need wise words of wisdom from somebody else in her life. And do you really feel comfortable as a man having your woman going to another man to try to work through situations to get advice from? Okay, think about it. If you're a woman and your man, all he has is female friends, when that thing gets tough, are you going to be comfortable with them going to a woman to get advice from all the time that's the same as you? So think about this. He's saying in the book that if it's not healthy and it's actually an indicator or a red flag, that something is wrong. And the general principle behind what he's saying is that how can all the members of your sex, so if I'm a female, how can every female except me have something wrong with them that only me having male friends can fix? And same thing for a man. As a man, how can every man have something wrong with them that I can't deal with them? I don't do other men. And the only people I can be friends with is females because they fix what I think is wrong. So that's a flawed way of thinking about it. Is that how can everybody that's a woman except me have a problem? That means that there is something in my thought process, in my life. And you know, we've all heard people say, I don't have no female friends. I can't deal with females. As a female, that is a red flag to me, that if a woman feels that she cannot be a friends with any other female in this world, that everybody she deals with has to be a man. No. And as a man, if you can, I don't deal with dudes. Dudes get on my nerves. I don't deal with dudes. All my friends are women. That is a problem. Red flag, ladies and gents. If you meet someone and all of their friends are all the opposite sex, it's saying in this book that means that there's something is wrong. And like I mentioned earlier, when problems arise, will you feel comfortable with them discussing the problems with a person of the opposite sex? So, I mean, this basically is saying, you know, you got to think about it. You know, is this going to be a problem for you down the road? Again, you're gathering information. You are playing for keeps. Is it really true that this person only can deal with the opposite sex? That's right, Tarantula. Something is definitely wrong if you meet someone and everybody in their life is the opposite sex. There's nobody of the same sex that they can relate to. That's a problem. Same-sex friendships are fine, but they okay, so this is supposed to say opposite sex. I'm sorry, this is a typo, y'all. So opposite sex friends are fine, but they may not be as healthy if same-sex, opposite sex are your closest ones. So what this was supposed to say is that it's okay to have friends of the opposite sex, but your closest friendships of that person should not be a person of the opposite sex. Now, this is his opinion, and I know this can be controversial. There are some of us who have opposite sex best friends. Okay, so this is something that I want to talk about and have your opinion about. He's saying in the book that it's okay to have friends of the opposite sex. You can have, I mean, none of us have been an island. We've all have high school friends. We have male, you know, as a female, I have a couple of male friends that I've known throughout my life. They have not been people that I've dated. They have truly been friends. So truth of the matter is I have a couple of friends, but my closest friends to me are females. So what he's saying in the book is that it's okay to have opposite sex friends, but they should not be the ones that are closest to you. So because when problems arise, the person closest to you is who you're going to go to for advice and to talk things through. So the end of the matter is that, are you comfortable with that person having another male, if you're a male, going to for advice? So you got to think about it. It's okay to have opposite sex friends. There's nothing wrong with that. But the principle of it is the person closest to your person should be someone of the same sex. So I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. Anybody have any comments about having an opposite sex best friend? Because what that means is that your man or your woman is going to have to deal with the fact that there's going to be another man or another woman involved in the relationship. Because, you know, as adults, we talk things through, it just happens that way. And so, no, you know, you're not in isolation. You're not, you know, if you're choosing to have a best friend and all of that, you've got to think about, if you meet a person and their best friend is a person of the opposite sex, are you comfortable with that? Or is that a deal breaker for you? You've got to come up with these things. You got to understand it, because at the end of the day, that's going to play a factor later on. All right. Anybody have any comments about the same-sex best friends? Interested to see if there's anybody out there that has an opinion about it, or if you guys agree. Either way, let me know. Now he moves on to the green flags. He says, a green flag is that you have healthy, lifelong friends. Your support system are your roots that help you stand up straight and tall. So in the book, he's talking about there are certain trees that have more height than roots. But because their roots are strong, it doesn't matter how high the tree is, the roots help the tree stand up tall and straight. So in your relationships, in your friendships, those are your roots. Look at those as your support system that help you stand up straight and tall. So if your support system If you meet someone and they have a couple of healthy lifelong friends, that is a green flag. That should be something that you should be excited about. You're like, you know what? This person can maintain relationships. They've got some people that they've been around for a long time, that they trust, and that they know that they're good people and they have their best interest in mind. So I'm excited, and I want to meet those people because those people have been there for you, and I want to get to know them. So the green flag in all of this. So the red flag, of course, is that you introduce them and it goes wrong, or that they only have opposite sex friends. The green flag, or the counterpart to that, is that they have some healthy lifelong friends and people that have been in their lives for a long time that they can look to for friendship. It says, don't be your significant other's only friend. Okay. So that, again, if we go back to my personal situation, that's what the person told me. You don't need any other best friends. I'm going to be your best friend. And that should have been a red sign to me then, but it wasn't. I didn't pay attention. But he told me, you don't need best friends. What you need a best friend for? You have me. No. You should not be your significant other's only friend. Friends should be an outlet that bring outside opportunities and perspectives. So again, you don't want to tell your friend every little thing that happens in your relationship. That's not their business. But friends have a lane to be in, and that is an appropriate lane to be in. You should have a friend. There's going to be some days that you need an outlet. You have been around this person so much that you just want to see somebody different. You want to go out and you want to go shopping. You don't want to feel rushed. You want to do girl things, and your man is not that girlfriend to you. Okay. He can't talk to you about the latest and greatest in personal care products for a woman because he's not a woman. He can't talk to you about some things that may be going on with your body or your emotions, your feminine parts, the things that women talk about. Your man don't want to hear about that. And same thing for women. Men love things that they deal with their hands and all that kind of stuff. I'll listen, but I'm really not that interested in fertilizer. I'm really not that interested in what kind of tires a car has on it. I'm really not interested in how loud I can make a muffler sound on a car. Like there's some things in this life that as a woman, I can listen, but really doesn't intrigue me. So again, if I don't have a friend though, I don't have an outlet. So you should not be your significant other's only friend. They should have someone else they can have an outlet with, to go have some opportunities with and perspectives and such. So again, if you meet somebody and they want to tell you that they should be your only friend, that you don't need a best friend because they're it. Now, I do understand that best friends have their place. Okay. So again, this is not someone that you're going to tell all your business to. There are certain things in your relationship that only you should know. Things that you share as a couple and go through, because you tell your best friend everything. And then when y'all get, you make up with your significant other, the best friend is still mad. So your family member is still going to be mad. So there are certain things that you need to keep within the confines of your relationship. True. But there are some things you're going to talk about with your friend. You need an outlet. Okay. So you should not be your significant other only friend. That's a lot of responsibility to put on somebody, and a lot of pressure too, to only, to only be their only friend. If a person you date has no friends, there's a problem. There should be someone that they've been able to maintain a relationship with throughout the years. Do y'all agree with this? Do y'all agree with this? Do you agree that if you meet someone and they have no friends, there's nobody, not even a family member, anybody, because a lot of us family members are our friends too. So there's not a family member, there's not anybody on their team that they've maintained a relationship with throughout the years, then that's a problem. There may be a red flag. It also talks about friends should be allies. So if I'm dating somebody new, then I should look at your friends as my allies, or those are the people that are going to be on my team, because I may want to pull off a surprise for you. I may want to, figure out something to do for you. I may want to get to know something in your past so that I can help, plan things. So your friends, the person's friends should become your allies. They've had their friends before you, but they still want to make time for you. So again, don't look at that person's friends as your enemy or somebody that you don't like, or you know, a lot of us are so territorial that we have an issue with a person having friends. No, the friends should actually become your allies if you're smart, because you got to think this person has had these friends their whole life, or in recent years through college or whatever, but they're still choosing to make time for me, carve out time for me, to be with me and all those things. So if that's the case, then why don't I become an ally with a friend? Get to know them better by getting to know their friends. So I should be looking at their friends in a positive way, instead of not necessarily thinking that they're making time for me, even though they have friends they could be spending time with. The best way to nurture the social aspect of your relationship is to be friendly with their friends, family, and coworkers. So if you want to make life easy for yourself, the best thing for you to do is to become friends with the people they're friends with. So if you're looking to play for keeps and you want this to be a long-lasting relationship, don't hurt yourself by not being welcoming and social with their friends and family and coworkers. Because we all know that it's just much easier to go to an event, to be around people, to be engaged with folks when everybody gets along. Can we all just get along? So we know that it's better when things are good. So if you want to the Bible tells us, if we want to be friendly, if we want friends, we got to show ourselves friendly. So you got to be friendly to people's friends, their family, their coworkers. It will make life a little bit easier for you. Help support the friend's family as an extension, and care for their friend. So think about it like this. If I have a best friend and my significant other chooses to help support the best friend in something that they're doing, he says, honey, I see that your friend is doing X, Y, and Z. We should be apart. Let's support her. He's looking at that as a way to support me. And because she's my friend, that also, he's caring for me because I care about my friend. So you should date someone who has no trepidation about supporting your friends and family. If your family's throwing a function and that person wants to be a part, they want to go, they want to help, they want to see hey, I want you to participate. I desire for you to be a part of your family, to continue to do what you do, then that's a good person. That's a green flag. Let's give a hand for the green flag, because we know that sometimes it's hard to get to know new people. But if that person is willing to support your friends, support your family as an extension of you, then that is absolutely a green flag and something that should be appreciated in that person. Don't ignore the social flags, for they represent some of the strongest bonds that make or break a great relationship. Like we mentioned before, it's just easier to have someone who your family can welcome in, who your friends welcome. And if they, and not that no one's perfect, there's always something we can work on, always something. But if it's not true deal breakers, and there are things that are workable, and that your family are open to accepting and all of that, then those are things that you can work through, because your family and your friends, your social bonds are important in this life. And you don't want to make it hard on yourself when you're dating somebody who just can't get along with anybody. Your friends don't like them. Your family don't like them. Your coworkers can't stand them. So you end up in isolation trying to deal with your relationship, when it really should be a holistically happy situation, because you are welcoming somebody who has the ability and you all are socially compatible. So here's your homework assignment for this week, is to create your interview committee. So part of what dating is about is, of course, gathering information. So you need to think about those one or two good people, family, friends, whoever they are, that are closest to you, that are going to tell you the truth. Okay, so you got to develop who's on my interview committee, and what do I need them to know from me? What do I need them to get from me? What kind of questions do I need for them to ask that they can help me gauge if I'm moving in the right direction with this relationship? So your homework is to think about who's on my interview committee. Like, who am I needing to be able to talk to this person in a way they may see some things that I may not see? And then I'm going to take what my interview committee says as feedback and take it to God, take it in prayer, take it in meditation, and work through whatever they saw. If it was positive, I'm going to be happy and be like, yes, I'm on the right track. If it was not positive and they have some things to be concerned about, I'm going to take their feedback. I'm going to take it in prayer. I'm going to take it in meditation, and I'm going to work through their feedback. And it doesn't mean that my friends get to determine or my family gets to determine who I'm going to be with, but it does mean that they may have saw something that I did not see because I'm so enamored and in love with this person that I'm going to trust what they say because I know they have my best interest at heart, because I've picked the very best people who know me the best to be on my interview committee. That's what that means. So I want you to think, as your homework this week, think about who needs to be on your interview committee. Give that person the authorization, empower them to ask the hard questions and say, hey, girl, hey, guy, I'm making you my interview committee. And so when I introduce you to this person, I need this conversation to be real. And I need you to ask some questions that you know me best, and you know what I need. You've seen me through the hard times. You've seen the hurt, the heartache, the pain that I've gone through. And I know you want the best for me. So when you interview this person, I need this interview to be real. And I need you to come back to me, and don't be afraid. I know it's hard to speak up, but don't be afraid to tell me the truth. So your homework this week is to think about, who do you have in your life, and go ahead and have that conversation with them up front and say, hey, I've been learning about dating. I want to do things differently. I don't want to keep going in the same cycle. I need you to be my interview committee. And what does that mean? They may be like, interview committee. Yes. So you need to be able to explain to them, hey, I'm studying this Watch the Flags book, and it's saying to us that we need to have somebody in our lives that we trust completely, that we know have our best interest in heart, to be our interview committee. So when I put this person in front of you, you are empowered to ask the hard questions. You're empowered to dig into it a little bit so that I can get some information to know that I'm moving in the right direction with this person, because I like them a lot. I really want to be around them. I think one day I could see myself with them and marrying them, or whatever the case may be. And I just want to make sure that I'm not missing something. And I trust your judgment, and I really want some feedback. So I want you on my interview committee, and I want you to do this for me. And I think that they would be elated to meet the person and give some true feedback. But you got to empower the person and let them know that I'm really okay if you come back with some concerns, because at this time, I don't want to go through heartache again. I don't want to deal with pain again in that retrospect by choosing the wrong person again. So I really want your feedback. I really want your opinion. Don't be shy to really tell me what you think, because I really need that. And I think once you have the conversation with that person, those individuals, then they will feel relieved that even if they have some concerns, that they can bring them to you, and that you won't get upset with them for pointing out things that you might have missed. So be an adult. Again, we said dating requires maturity. So you got to be an adult. You've got to make sure that you have that conversation so that when they are in front of that person, they understand the goal here is not just a meet and greet. It is to meet and greet, but we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. And I need to know, if you have my best friend, my cousin, or whoever that person is, that you have their best interest in mind, because I love them and I want to see them in a good relationship with someone. Thank you, Tarangela. A good relationship where someone loves them, treats them well, and that they are valued in this situation. So again, your homework this week is to create your interview committee. Go ahead and empower them. Talk to them about it. You know you're in the dating game. You're going to want them to meet somebody eventually. So be an adult and go ahead and talk to them and say, hey, you know you're on my interview committee, right? And this is what it means for me. And here's what I need you to do. And I believe that your friends and family, they love you. They're going to be the first ones to jump at the opportunity to be able to do that for you. So that's our commentary for this week. It's about social red flags. So next week is going to be our finale of the book club. We have one more chapter that we're going to cover. And next week, we're going to be talking about conflict. So again, another intriguing conversation. I have thoroughly enjoyed this book club with you all. So I want to know your feedback. If there's any feedback, you're more than welcome to send me a inbox message to my inbox through Messenger on Facebook, Instagram, however you all would like to do that. And as a reminder to subscribe to the Queen Cassandra Haynes YouTube channel. We do Queen Bling accessories on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram. And lastly, if you want to plant a seed or if there's anything that you want to support, you're always welcome to do so through our Cash App through Queen Bling Cassandra. So it has been an amazing day today. I thank you all so very much. Hopefully this information has been helpful information to you. And next week, we will be concluding our book club with conflict red flags and doing a recap of what we've covered over the last 9 weeks. And hopefully this has all been a great blessing to you. All right. Have a super Saturday. I hope you have an amazing day today. And we'll see you next Saturday morning for our conclusion. Thanks and have a good afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.